Today I'm going to talk about ways you can propagate plants in your backyard with very simple, inexpensive materials. For example, a plastic jug. So this makes a little humidifier, a mini greenhouse. One of the ways to propagate plants is from cuttings, another is from seed, and they both benefit from increased moisture and temperature. You can use any plastic gallon jug, milk jug, water jug, rinse it out. You can do this with a kitchen knife, cut the bottom off, or do it with a pair of shears. If you want it to fit in snugly, I make little cuts around the side so that I can make it, push it down into the soil. That's kind of important for several reasons. If a cat comes by and knocks it, you don't want it to fall off. Also, this really seals in the humidity. And make sure that it's never exposed to full sun during the day. It'll get too hot. So just dappled light like this. If you need to cool it off a little, if it's a very hot day, just take the top off and leave it off. I often put the top back on at night. This is something called a cold frame. This is an old wooden window I found out in front of somebody's house with a hinge. It's a little bit more permanent than a plastic dome, and it's used again to start seeds that need a little jump on the spring. Tomatoes and peppers that need warmth when it's still too cold outside. It's also a great place to grow cactus that need quite a bit more heat and not as much humidity. You want to orient your cold frame facing south, otherwise you're going to have a long shadow. The cold frame is like a small, affordable greenhouse. If you have succulents that are tender and you're worried about them dying in a cold snap, putting them in a cold frame will keep them protected, even just with this sheet of glass overnight. Be sure to prop it open on hot days. It can get very hot, but remember to close it again at night. Things dry out more quickly in a cold frame than they do outside, so always check to see that your medium is moist enough if it needs to be moist. To erect your own greenhouse, there are a lot of kits on the internet you can buy, or you can just build one out of used windows. My first greenhouse was just a collection of wooden windows. I was fortunate to buy a house that had a wooden greenhouse in the backyard. This is a wood and glass greenhouse. Glass is probably the best material for covering. It transmits the most light. Plastic and fiberglass over time tend to yellow and age. So this will stay clear as long as it doesn't get broken. Actually, when we moved in, all the glass was broken. We replaced the glass. This is a great way to start seeds on a bigger scale. I also have a misting table here. It automatically mists intermittently. Whatever size your greenhouse, you're going to want to build tables. It's always a good idea to grow off the ground. You won't have slugs crawling around through your plants, less disease. These tables we built out of pressure-treated lumber and wire. In hindsight, I wish we had purchased plastic tables. After a while, this wire tends to sag and the pots tend to lean one way or the other. Outside, I'll show you some of the plastic tables that you can buy that are easy to put together and easy to move. These are the plastic tables that I like. They're very light, easy to move, they won't rot, and you can get a variety of leg heights and a variety of table widths to have exactly what you want. You can even have a second tier on half the table. I like a table at about this height so that I'm not bending over and picking up all day. It's also a good idea to grow things off the ground. Snails tend to spend a lot more time crawling along the ground. They do, however, tend to hide in these leg wells, and sometimes I have to go around and pull them out. A shade house is good for starting seeds that don't want the warmth and humidity of a greenhouse. That's true of a lot of California native plants. They also like temperature variation and cooler nights, and you can get that in a shade house. And some plants need to be in shade for their whole life. Ferns, for example, so they just stay in here. This structure was a kit that I bought from Farm Tech online. It was a portable garage. You see these often in driveways with a white tarp on it. We just didn't get the white tarp. Instead, we ordered a shade cloth, a shade cover made to fit. And you can order shade cloth in different degrees of darkness. This gives me about 50% shade. This top should last about 4 years, and then it'll disintegrate. We'll get another one, but hopefully the structure will stay.